Hey everybody, today we'll do another programming video, and today we will do just introduction to classes. So basically I will go through a little quick and write a class and kind of explain what a class does, and again in this programming videos we just touch on the basics. So for now, so let's go to Visual Studio. Let's open Visual Studio. And again, we're still doing little C++ programming. What I will do some more C++, because C++ is object-oriented programming. If you get to learn C++, all the rest of the language will become easier. So create new project, and we can call this intro to class. Right, so we do create. Okay, now we have got a project, and we go to add new item. Visual C is already selected. Add. And again, here we do, as always, include. And we do IO string, just like that. Okay, so now we do using, and we do name a space, right? And we do std. Right, this is step I will do kind of quick because we have been doing this for, if you have been following my videos, we have been doing this for a while already. So then here we do main. Oops, first int, then main, parenthesis, close parenthesis, 0 brackets like this, right? And here, so this is the regular program, right? Like if you're doing a basic type of program, right? So in here, what we do is the following. So the class is going to be the same thing as, you declare that above the main, right? And you start by saying like this, right? So class, right? And then you name it, right? You name it. Remember, we did a function in the last tutorial. We said a void, right? This one is similar. You can see in blue, it's class. It's a data type, right? So basically, so we name the class something, right? What can we say, right? How can we name it? Let's name it. Let's name it a little quick. Let's name it my name, why not? Jose. Right? Jose class, right? Right? And then automatically adds a curly braces after that. Right? You see that when you put a class, it adds a curly braces, and also, well, it doesn't add a curly brace, but it adds a semicolon. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? So here is when you declare a class, but you have to say what type of class. Is it a public or is it a private? If you want to run this in the main, then you have to say public. You say public like that. 2 colons like that. Just a set of colons, right? Now in here, we can do something, right? Below this class, we can actually, remember we did a function? We did a function, right? And we did a function and we call it last time void, right? So let's do something similar, right? So what we will do is we will actually output that. We will put a function inside the class, okay? So let me explain a little quick what a class is, right? A class will be like a group of objects. For example, right? You go to a supermarket, right? In the supermarket, you will have, the supermarket is organized. It should be organized. So you have the dairy items, milk, cheese, and all that stuff in one area, the dairy department. Then you got the vegetable department, right? So in the vegetables department or the produce department, you got carrot, you got onion, you got, and then so you got all those vegetables, and you got the fruit. So you got couple different groups, right? So you have the onions, and then you have the bananas, you have apples and all that stuff, right? So you have fruit and vegetable in the produce department. That would be one class. Also, the dairy department, you got, or the meat department, right? You got pork, you got chicken, you got beef, right? It's another class. So the meat department will be another class which holds a lot of items that belong to that department, but different items, right? So that's how the class works, right? For example, in this case, we'll write a function inside this class. It's going to be void, right? Void, right? And we said, let's call it hello. The function is going to be its name, hello, right? And then, and here we actually set parentheses like that, right? And then we put the brackets like that. So we have a function. Inside the class, we have a function, right? And this side the class, we will say something like, for example, see out something, right? See out, let me just change something. Hey, let me just name this class winter. Winter. Let me just change this snow, because it's snowing. We got snow outside, right? Okay. Now let's put this something like this. So winter, right? Snow, right? Winters belong to snowball, the function and the class are kind of related in this case. Okay. So we had a class winter, with a class called winter, then we have a function called snow, and this inside the function, I will have to put a cout, right? And then we put cout, and then we output something, right? So, all right, end of line. Oops. Right, so like that. And inside it here, we'll say, okay, it is snowing. It is snowing. All right. It is snowing now. Right. It is snowing now. Right. Okay. So this class is. This function is belong to this class, right? Okay. So here. Now that is a class. So the class is a group of items, like a package that hold different items, or an area that hold different items. For example, let's say, for example, that you have a good example would be, like the supermarket, or maybe like a bank, right? A bank. There is certain areas, certain people that work for commercial account or business account, and there is another group that just work for personal account. And those files are separated in the system, in the computer. I am assuming that should be separated because otherwise it's going to be a mess, right? So therefore, it should be a class for each part of it. The same thing, in school, you have different colleges. You got a college of engineering. You got inside the college of engineering, you got a mechanical engineering. You got a electrical engineer. You got a civil engineer. You got architectural engineering. So one class is engineering, but inside that class we have a different department, right? Okay. Similar, right? Same idea, same concept, right? So now, so this class, right, is outputting that string, and then inside the main, right? So remember that I said that there is two different classes, it's private and public. Private, if you put private here, you will not be able to access that to access that class inside the main, right? So I'm thinking, what is the use, right? So that, when you program microcontrollers, everything pretty much is programmed in the main. So you write a function outside, you call it in the main, right? So in this case, if you want to access the function in the main, you have to name it. You have to do a public class. If you do a private, you're not going to be able to access that class inside the main. Okay. So we doing basically just public class right now, right? Now inside this main, I am going to call this function to execute this class, right? So I had to say something. I had to name it something else. I gotta name it. I I have to say the name of the class, right? I gotta say the name of the class. And then after I say the name of the class, I have to name it something else and then call the function, right? So, so let's name it as, okay, so let's name it cold, right? Let's name it that the weather is cold, right? Why not? And let's just do it this way. So we have the class and we just do winter. Right? And then that winter, right, is the class, which is already recognized up here, right? We will say that the weather is cold. And call it, say cold weather. Cold weather, right? Right? So we write a class and we have to name it. We have to write another name. What do we want to call that object? This is called an object. I'm sorry. Let me just call it. This is called object. Okay, so object. Right? So this cold weather, right? Cold weather. Let me just put it, maybe let me do some parentheses like that. Cold weather. Cold weather. Oops. Okay. Object is cold weather, correct? So this we name in this, right? So now we put that as put a semicolon in there, right? Now to call this, we need to put the function, what is inside the function when it's like times, dot, it's called a dot separated. And then we call the function, right? So in this case, we said the dot separated, right? We said cold weather, right? And we said dot, and see, it says no. See, it's already sensing that that is the function that we want to call. It says no, and then we just put like that in a set of parentheses. Right? So now we call in the function, right? So we, with the dot separated, right? We want to output this object, and after this object is output, it will come in and output this part here. So let's run it. Let's see. Hopefully we don't get any errors. See? So okay, so we got, it is snowing now, right? Okay, so that's how you call a function inside the main when the function is inside the class, right? So you take the class, you come over here, and then it's like declaring another object that is belong to that class, and then you put a dot separator between the class and the function that you're calling, which in this case is snow, right? And after the function is calling, after the function is called, it will come up and execute this piece of code and say, okay, I will be outputting that because that is the function that was declared inside the class. And then that function is being called in the main, and then execute that piece of code right there, right? So that is basically the introduction to classes in C++. So that's how you actually do it. Like I said, you can actually do public and you can do private, but if you do private, you're not going to be able to execute inside the main. That's the only difference, right? So yeah. So that's it, guys, for today. Please subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe. That will motivate me to upload more videos in this channel. And also give me a comment, leave a comment, right? And also, I want to hear from you. Maybe you have some better idea how to do, some of this stuff, or maybe you've done something cool. Just let me know on C++, anything, just give me a comment, comment below, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and also subscribe in the channel. And again, this is the Conservative Engineering Academy. We learn over here because Jesus is good with us every day. And he is the one that gives us the knowledge to learn something every day. Without him, we cannot do anything. That's what we believe in this channel, right? So thank you for watching, and God bless everybody.